can hear it. Yeah, I can hear it. Something is working.
I'm Cece Mitchell with Iowa Public Radio Studio One. I'm here backstage at Woolies with Shovels and Rope, Michael and Cary Ann of Shovels and Rope. Thank you all so much for talking with me today.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. Y'all are in the middle of a pretty busy tour right now. How is life on the road going?
It's going pretty good. There's always some growing pains at the beginning of the tour when you're kind of getting what we call getting greasy, like where everything starts to feel natural and automatic. And I feel like we finally hit that spot a couple days ago. And so I think it's going to be a really fun rest of the tour. It's been good so far.
So you guys have been married for over 15 years and you have 2 children together. How do you balance family life with a touring music career?
That's a big one.
Have we achieved this?
I don't know. We're doing it. We actively do it. We show up. The kids are the most important thing, and they are out with us until, they both have grown up on the tour bus since they were 3 months old. They're 9 and 5 now. And, we prioritize their happiness and their health and their safety. That's like just everybody that comes on the bus needs to, crew and everybody. It's not really a whole lot of partying going on.
It's pretty chill. But then there's also like the work-life balance where we're like, it feels like we're on vacation together all the time, and we have to be like, we hit the Bronx Zoo, and then we hit the, the Smithsonian, and we're hitting all these things all the time.
We see a lot of aquariums and children's museums, and that's like our day life. And then around 5 p.m. we sound check for an hour, and then we all get some dinner together, and then we bring a nanny with us. The nanny watches the kids while we play the show, and then
it takes them to the park at some point when we pull up to wherever we're going to get their bodies moving after we've been driving. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole race. We should do a whole book about it or something someday.
So you got your new album, Something Is Working Above My Head, just came out earlier this month. What's your favorite song to perform off the new record and why?
My favorites, I have 2. I like to perform a song, Colorado River, because I just love the narrative. And as we enter the spooky season, it's like a murderous family camping trip, but that takes a dark turn. It's really fun to play. And my other favorite is kind of a spiritual that we have. That's a hymn, but all of the lyrics are the teachings of Ram Dass, distilled into what sounds like old-timey Kentucky-style shape singing gospel hymnal.
I am walking my incarnation. I am here but for a moment across the expanse of time. I will radiate my vibration till my body is but dust again and my soul is unconfined.
My favorite to play right now is probably Something Is Working, the first track off the record. It's pretty droney, and it's just got this like little piano riff, kind of spooky sounding, and it was interesting how the song came about. We kind of I just was walking around with that riff for weeks, and then laid it down, put some drums on it, and then kind of improvised lyrics, which is something that I've never really tried to do before. And some stuff came out that worked, and then just kind of continued to write the song around the nonsense that was coming out in the beginning,
So on Studio One, we've been spinning the single Piran Nana quite a bit. In your own words, what is that song about?
Well, Michael brought the song to the workshop, and I loved just the rock and roll feel of it, and kind of the getting in a car and driving somewhere kind of energy that it brought. But I had just finished reading some books about Storyville in New Orleans and the rise and fall of the red light district, and I couldn't help but think about some of the classic musicians that grew up in these homes of ill repute, and like the casualness of life's vices existing all around them, but they're going about their day because it's just Wednesday in Storyville. I know that's not necessarily where that idea originated from, but it coalesced into just a character who is super streetwise, surrounded by just kind of human vice, but is just taking it in stride because he's just going about his life, going somewhere.
So what inspired the songwriting as a whole on this new record? And did you work together on the songwriting, or were some songs written by one person or the other?
We do write separately. We usually, over the course of a couple of years, we'll be writing separately, and then it'll be time to start talking about making something new, and we'll show each other our piles, and some of them, are more or less completed songs. Some of them are half written. Some of them, just need a little encouragement from the other person.
Credit where credit is due. Most of the greatest songs on this record, you brought a lot of work to the table, and we share all of our credits and work all the songs together. But the themes that you brought shaped this record, and like the direction of your mind really brought for better or worse, the darkness to the record that we embrace, and it's been really fun. So I just wanted to give a little extra credit to Michael for prolific and amazing songwriting skills.
So you guys created and you currently curate the High Water Festival in your home base of Charleston every year, and the lineups for that festival have been absolutely killer. Why did you decide to start this festival, and how has it been going?
That's an interesting question.
Juicy tea. Let's spill the tea. And
We have taken a step. We've stepped down from the High Water Festival. When we started it with our manager, I don't know. I think 2017 was maybe the first year that we did it. It was a little bit smaller. It was a little bit more. I don't know. We had a little bit more say in the culture of the thing, and we've always been proud of the lineups each year because they've been killer lineups.
And that's what they hired us to do, is to bring cool bands that we liked into the scene.
Right. And in the past few years, it was bought by Live Nation. We didn't own it, just to clarify. And, the way that the festival music business is right now is it's tough out there for everybody. But, as we know with Live Nation, there's a lot of VIP packages and stuff that just sort of
weird ticket pricing that fluctuate the customer experience, and that it felt incongruous with like what our brand it wasn't a mom and pop vibe, and so it didn't feel like something that we needed to like keep on being a part of, but not it's still going to go on, and I'm sure it's going to be like awesome, but we just will be somewhere else.
You have released 3 covers albums so far. What goes into making a good cover?
My favorite thing to do on these records is to take a singer, because they're all collaborative as well. We will have an artist that's a friend, or it's just someone that we want to collaborate with, we admire, and then take a song that we like, but have them kind of as mismatched as possible, to see what happens. It's always interesting to take a singer who you could never imagine singing that song, and then for us to, get in it with that singer and try to record it and achieve just something different.
So like you said, those covers records are chock full of collaborations. Who would be your dream artist to collaborate with?
Oh, man, so many. I think it would be incredibly, and I hope he hears it, I want Rufus from Wainwright to sing with us. and I would sing the birthday song with that man. But that would be a big get, and I'm gonna guess, and like I would love for Nick Cave to come and do one, but I would never even ask. And Elvis Costello.
When you were younger, did you envision yourself marrying a fellow musician and creating a musical partnership, or did the creation of Shovels and Rope come as a complete surprise to you?
It was not a planned thing at all. We had both been working on our individual careers for maybe 10 years before we got married, and then once we got married, we started. We picked up these bar gigs, in town, and we would go down and make a little bit of money, and it was easy and fun, and we had twice as many songs because it was us two, and we just brought some random instruments, whatever we had laying around the house, and then it took off like way faster and way easier than anything that we'd put 10 years plus work into.
It made sense too if we wanted to be a family and be married and not be in different cities all the time, that it would be more traditional in many ways just to be together in a band. So there was some ego strangling, and buried those in the backyard. And here we are, like, with what I think is an incredibly collaborative career and family life. We're just riding around doing it.
And finally, what advice do you have for people trying to make it into the Americana music industry?
Interesting. The Americana world is such a generous place because it will catch you. If you've got, some of the purists get fussy about whether something is, folky enough, or if it's too loud, or if it's too one thing or another. But it's such a great catch-all for, cowpunks and R&B, blues, and folk to all kind of find congress, and also a market of people and a pool of people that actively are interested in building that scene. And I think it's a welcoming place. It can be a little bit of a pigeonhole situation in a band. In our situation, for example, like if we're a little bit too loud for many of the ears of that fan base, but we're beloved by the critics of that fan base, or I think it's a really wonderful place to build community and to find artists to collaborate with. But I think it's important to also like build those relationships outside of just the Americana world, unless you're like a stone cold purist, in which go ahead with your little bad self and your banjos.
Well, Cary Ann and Michael, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Iowa Public Radio Studio 1.
Hungry for context, caught in the vortex. My legs are jerking and my blood is bled. Something is working. Something is working. Something is working. Shaped like a weapon up above my head.